Hey, how y'all doing out there today? This is Uncle Steve in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining us here on this Monday edition, Memorial Day edition. We want to make sure we remember those who gave their life, made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. We do thank them and remember them on this day, on the Monday Minutia. As far as everything else is concerned, same thing we go through every Monday, the Falcons Talk. Just a matter of, man, now that the schedule release is out, now that they've had little OTAs and all that stuff, now becomes the long process of waiting until kickoff. What are we talking about during this time? What things do you want to concern yourself with the Atlanta Falcons? I'll tell you what's top of mind with me and what's going on as far as the 2-month wait until we get real football on the field. We'll talk about that and a lot more here in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing out there today? It is Monday, May 25th, here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is the Monday Minutia. We usually come at you every week talking Atlanta Falcons football or Atlanta sports in general, especially during this time of the year, during the summertime when, the football news is going to come at us a lot less and less over the next couple of weeks, unless it's something that's, kind of pertinent to uh, what's going on with us. Now we're at a time, again, the schedule was released a couple of weeks ago, so we know where we're going. We know exactly when we're playing, how many primetime games we have. We saw a little sprinkling of OTAs and got a chance to see a lot of T-shirts and shorts, as I usually say during this time. And for us to get excited about Atlanta Falcons football, but let's also take a deep breath and know that some of the passes that we're seeing and the slow motion views that we're watching of our battling quarterbacks and other position players are just that. They're out playing 7-on-7 or their version of a football game, flag football without the flag in a lot of cases. Not to say that you can't get excited. I am excited because anytime you have change, it changes my view. I was talking to my son about this, my son Tyler, as we usually go through our long off-season debriefs a lot of times. And we really, this last 2 years, and we can beat to death how bad the coaching decision for Raheem Morris, not the personal, but the coaching decision on Raheem Morris may not have been the greatest as far as a leader of a team. I think Raheem might be a great coaching addition. I think he's going to do great out in San Francisco, by the way. But not having that leader on the team, the X and O's guy, the guy who can make decisions that'll help win or lose a game. And I think that's what we lacked on this team the last couple of years, as far as the on-field general. We really didn't have that. And God bless Raheem, because I think he's a good guy, but just, hey, it didn't work out. But bring it in Kevin Stefanski and crew and some of the folks you have around. They have to seem to have the vibe you're getting is this no-nonsense vibe so far. Let's have fun, this schedule release and stuff and all of that, but a lot less of the, I don't want to say overhype, but a lot less of the hype videos, a lot less of the hype train as far as that's concerned. You have a lot more nitty gritty, seems like, with this, just the small pockets of press conferences that you see with these guys. Not that they don't have a sense of humor, not that they don't have a sense of awareness in the media, but it does seem to be a different vibe. And anything to change was different. 9 years, 9 straight losing years, 9 straight non-playoff appearances is not what this franchise wants or deserves. So let's see what these folks can do. I wanted to focus a lot on the obvious thing that people are talking about, which is the Michael Penix versus Tua situation, as far as what's going to be an interesting training camp / preseason battle, as people are seeing more pictures of Michael Penix appearing, again, shorts and T-shirts, appearing to be healthy out there, throwing the ball, appearing to be comfortable taking the ball under center, and also watching Tua throw accurate passes, again, shorts and T-shirts, and, seem to have a control of what's going on out there. All of these things are great to watch during the summertime. Again, it's not even June yet. So we probably still you're probably right at 2 months before we start training camp. So you're talking about another 60 days. So hopefully the guys, kind of learning this summer, kind of figuring each other out, learn the little idiosyncrasies about each other so you can learn each other's habits. But this is not the time to make blanket judgments. Michael Penix threw that pass. Did you see how long that pass is in May? Tua looked like he had control of the offense. He was 10%, which is the funniest thing to me. We're doing stats in OTAs with T-shirts and shorts. Not saying you don't have to have the practice. I'm not saying you can't learn a little from that. But I think when you have lost on a grand scale as long as the Falcons have, only the New York Jets have a longer non-playoff streak than us now that Carolina won the division last year. It's just a lot to me for us to be staking so much in these photos and these photo ops and these little things that we're seeing. And the NFL does a great job of marketing the sport throughout the offseason. I get it. The slow motion Penix throw to Drake London looks great. The slow motion Tua throw to Kyle Pitts looks awesome. But it really doesn't mean a lot until we start getting into the nitty gritty of preseason. And when the 7 or 11 people on the other side of the field that'll be wearing pads and helmets are actually going to be trying to tackle you and hurt you. Those are the things that I look forward to. I've also noticed that people are taking sides and getting emotional about it. your team Tua can come in here. He has the experience. He should be able to do that. Michael Penix was drafted. He has more talent. He has more upside. He's whatever. I'm going to tell you where I am right now. And again, you're watching Uncle Steve on Uncle Steve's Lounge. If you have not tuned in before, we appreciate you coming in here. Please hit the like button for me, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We appreciate you watching. Please tell your friends so we can get this thing out into the algorithms before the season starts, before I start making tricks around talking about our Atlanta Falcons. So, as we talk about the battle between Tua and Michael Penix, I want to know, do you really care at this point? And let me define what I mean when I say, do we really care? Whoever comes out of this battle as the guy is obviously, in the new regime's eyes, the best option for us to win games. So whether you're Team Penix or Team Tua, it really doesn't matter as long as we win games. I deep down inside have a little affinity for Michael Penix. I do, not going to lie to you. But I'm also starved enough for winning to know that if you're telling me that Tua is going to give us the best opportunity to win on Sundays, then I guess the person that in my heart rooting for, he'll have to be on the bench. Because right now, as Falcons fans, which is the only lens I can see this through, it's time to win. Enough of the favorite player thing. Favorite player stuff doesn't get you anywhere. As I always say, once you're drafted on the team, once you're signed to the team, I am down. Down like 4 flat tires. So it doesn't matter whether I didn't like you before you were on the Falcons or not. If you're Atlanta Falcons, I'm ride or dying with you. And as far as the ability is concerned, if the coaching staff says, you know what? Michael Penix might give us a little more elusiveness in this particular situation, we're going to go with it. So well be. If Tua turns out that they're saying he's more accurate and he's able to hit that ball down the field a little bit longer to the receivers, so be it. The battle about who's the best will be determined. And whoever they choose, I'm down. Where are you? Are you taking one side or the other? Or are you taking the side of whatever's best for the team? I'm on the team side, man. I'm on the team side. And I'm going to tell you, do you know why I'm on the team side? 2018, 7-9. 2019, 7-9. 2020, 4-12. 2021, 7-10. 2022, 7-10. 2023, 7-10. 2024, 8-9. 2025, 8-9. That's why I'm on the road of whoever does it best. One of the other arguments, not even an argument, we were having a discussion about it. My son said this was similar to 2022 when you brought in Mariota and we drafted, our guy, Ritter. And we brought those two guys in and fooled the world into thinking that Mariota was going to be a quarterback. Excuse me. And we fooled the world into thinking that they were both competent quarterbacks at the time and made the best man win. The difference in the 2022 season and this year, if you remember that year, our running back room was not in great shape. Tyler Algier had yet to blow on the scene, so let me make sure I give him his props. But We had Cordero Patterson still in the house. We had a young defense, Dean Pease, trying to do the best he could with scraps. If y'all remember, that was the year we got rid of a lot of contracts, so we really didn't have a lot of cap room. We had to suck it up. And when the quarterback competition was going on and it was determined that, and I say quarterback competition, quite honestly, it may not have been. They were kind of going with Mariota's because Ritter was a third round pick. It wasn't like it was going to be serious competition. But when my son brought up that comparison to say the quarterbacks in the room, and I say, well, you know, it's a little different this time. If you look at our roster offensively, again, running backs back in 22, Tyler Algier. And remember Huntley, Caleb Huntley gave us a couple of good games back then. And then we moved on. Wide receiver room was Drake, and I can't even remember who was on the other side of Drake at that time. Tight end, it was all-world Kyle Pitts, but nobody could get the ball to him. Defense, we brought in Jesse Bates, but quite honestly, no one else really was on that level to help us out. And we still got 7 wins out of that, albeit against 10 losses. This year, and one of the main reasons Raheem Morris is no longer in Atlanta is because if you look at the talent we have now compared to what we had then, our running back room might be one of the best in the NFL. Brian Robinson is no joke. He could start on a team. Don't need to say much about Bijan. The wide receiver room, though lacking NFL-wise, is the best wide receiver room in Atlanta since 2020, since Julio left. Tell me I'm wrong. Tight ends, brought in Hooper to back up Kyle Pitts. I'm not sure it makes it the best tight end room in the world, but it gives us more flexibility. You don't have just Charlie Warner to throw to when Kyle Pitts isn't there. Offensive line, when healthy, solid. Jawan Taylor to see what he can do. Hopefully he can stop being handsy and give us some nice blocking. And on the defensive side, you have a lot of young guys on that other side of the line, mixing in a couple of one-year contracts, 2-year contracts, and a coach who probably, quite honestly, folks, I'm not sure Ulbrich is going to make it to 2027 if he does the same thing he did in 25. So I think the situation is better for whoever comes out of the Tua Michael Penix battle. They are set up better than they were in 2022. So during this long layoff that we're getting ready to have, after the little OTAs, going into training camp in late July, I ask you, are you rooting for one quarterback over the other in the Tua Penix battle? Or are you on the team of I made the best man win? I really want to know how you feel about that. So I'm going to go over here to the chat side and hopefully we can get some good answers about what's going on there. Hopefully, I don't know. It's just me thinking, may the best man win. Don't care who it is. Somebody say Jack Strand. Maybe. Oh, man. Yo, there, Big Low Country Sports, man. What is going on, my brother? Always happy to see Big Low in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all check out Big Low Country Sports on his YouTube channel, doing his thing. He was on the other night. I fell asleep, man. The other day, I was getting ready to do my little barbecue, and I started watching TV. I was watching The Dream, actually. And shout out to the Atlanta Dream, man. 4-1. Actually, at the exact second number one team in the WNBA. The only loss, 1 point to the defending champs. Looking good. The Angel Reese acquisition is paying dividends as far as what she's bringing on the defensive side and the rebounding side. It is just awesome to see what she's doing and what the Dream are doing right now on there. But anyway, that particular night, I fell asleep. I think they were playing Dallas Wings, Paige Beckers, who I love her game. And I fell asleep on the thing, and I said, oh, man, I meant to watch below. But anyway, he is always on. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on Big Low Country. He said, I always got to do a little jig when the theme song be playing, man. That, yeah, you know how, like when you're playing stuff like that in the background, and be it far from me to be humble. But I'm back here singing it myself 2 or 3 years in. I'm in the background. Hey, sing what I sing. Oh, man. James, what's going on, man? How you doing, cuz? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge again. As y'all coming in, please make sure you hit the like button for the stream on here, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube. We appreciate having you all here, especially on this Monday Minutia. Just talking Falcons, talking sports. How about those Braves, man? I know they just lost 2 out of 3 to Washington, but still 9 games up in your division, nothing to sneeze at. Just good overall news with a lot of the Atlanta teams again, hopefully. Oh, and another shout out, Jalen Johnson making the All-NBA team, 3rd team. Awesome for him. And hopefully there are more things to come with him as he improves his game going forward. But a great thing there with seeing him in the house. So glad to have him in here doing his thing. Mr. Big Management is in the house. What's going on? Say hello, Uncle Steve. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. What are your expectations for our defense this season? Thank you for the question, sir. I do feel like our defense is on the upswing, and Jeff Ulbrich is probably a really good example of you just really need somebody who can coach that. Now, let me make sure I say that right. You need the talent as well. But with talent, you also have to have somebody to coach them. And I'm going to get to the question in a second with the defense. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to stay with the defense, then I'm going to go somewhere else. Jeff Ulbrich, especially with these young guys, with his ability to be able to teach these guys so quickly and get them on the same page, and he alludes to it at the last press conference I saw with him when he was talking about how the team gelled at the end. You remember at the beginning of the year, we were kind of good. Then we hit that little spot when Diablo was out, quite honestly. And we were kind of suffering a little bit. And then at the end, we kind of got it together where our defense was really doing some good things. I think having Ulbrich in there, man, I think our defense is going to be well. I'm not going to put a number on how many sacks, but I will say this. Last year was a perfect example. Mike Smith would have loved this team. As Mike Smith used to always talk about pressure, even when you didn't get sacks. And we laughed at that as Falcons fans as we were averaging 20 sacks a year. But last year, even with the 40-plus sacks we received, a lot of times the pressure got to the other team. And that's what we need to do for the other quarterback, make them uncomfortable. And I think between Ulbrich and Nate Ollie and the gang back there doing their thing, that's what made the Atlanta Falcons not an easy out for a lot of teams. Now, we had some mental lapses in some games last year, but as far as the talent is concerned, I like what we were doing. So I will say my expectations for the defense is to be better than they were last year. Again, not even putting a number on it. because I don't even know what their official ranking was as far as defensively last year, what number they finished. I don't know. Some people go by yardage, some people go by points or whatever, but just to be better than they were last year. And I was going to allude to when you're talking about great coaching or good coaching, one of the other reasons, in my opinion, that Raheem Morris is no longer in Atlanta, because he put his reputation on the line by coming into a new job for him and bringing in 2 rookie coordinators. And that, yes, I'm not trying to say their experiences in college and stuff doesn't matter, but coaching on the NFL level is a different animal. Yes, sometimes you got to get your first shot, but I think you were in a position with this Atlanta team, as shown with the 8-9 record the last 2 years, that with the right coaching, 2 more wins on either of those seasons has us in the playoffs and has this fan base feeling better about the future. And so I say having good coaching, which alluded to the question big management was asking about about how the defense was doing. I think having seasoned guys in there doing the job. Tommy Reese, as far as with Kevin Stefanski, what I like about that is Kevin Stefanski is, Tommy Reese is on paper. Trust me, Kevin Stefanski is going to have his fingerprints all over this offense. So from that standpoint, I'm not worried about it. And Ulbrich, we don't need to say much from the job he did last year. Silk Legacy is in the house. What's going on, Silk? Thanks for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. He said, what's up, Unc? Yeek? Get some. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Anwar is in the house. What is going on? How you doing, brother? He said, I just want to win. And that's what it boils down to. Even in the unrealistic land, if Jack Strand ends up being this Kurt Warner from the grocery store to the NFL playoffs, I'm fine with that. Whoever gives us a best chance to win, whoever does it, that's where I am with as far as that's concerned. Mr. Big Management said, I'm down with whatever the coaching staff decides. Pretty much. If y'all don't think that Ian Cunningham, Kevin Stefanski, whatever version of Matt Ryan is in there, and the rest of the guys don't realize how big of a decision this is, because there is something to be said about this decision. Remember, as I was talking to my son about too, if the Falcons go in the direction of Tua, you all of a sudden start thinking about Michael Penix. Financially, it makes sense to keep him because you still have him under, a pretty good contract. Yet on the other side, does it make sense? Can you get a nice round draft pick for him? You might be able to. I would keep him just for the record. Because I think even if he doesn't work out this year, Tua does his thing, they're not paying Tua $30 to $40 million next year. You can bet your bottom dollar. But if Michael Penix wins this job, financially, it's great for the Falcons because you still have 2 years under contract left and an extension year that's not going to cost you $50 to $60 million. But if Tua wins, Tua wins. It's all good. Dexter Owens is in here, man. What's going on, Dexter? How you doing, sir? He said, Unc, I think Tua wins, but I want Penix to win so we can know what we have in the future. But I think Tua would be the best option to start the season off. But I'm a Penix fan. I'm going to tell you what, Dexter, you might be verbatim saying how I feel right now. And then again, not being fooled by T-shirts and shorts. Making that clear. Tua should, experience-wise, be better. Tua should instinctively be better. just because of experience, just because he's been in the NFL for more years than Michael Penix. And he knows a little bit of what to expect. So he already has that over Michael Penix no matter what. Michael Penix might have more upside than Tua, and that's an argument. But as far as what you probably think on paper, you think Tua should have the head, be a nose ahead. But I'm kind of like what Dexter is saying as far as the future is concerned. And I'm just looking at the financials as well. Dude, I'd rather have that guy who's locked up for a couple more years. Remember, we still haven't done anything with Bijan. We still haven't done anything with Drake. Drake obviously is a little bit more pertinent because this is it after this year. So you got to figure that out. And it's nice to have your starting quarterback. It's not going to be making a lot of money because then that gives you flexibility to do a lot of other things. And don't forget, Jesse Bates is out there too. Alan Mike is in the house, man. What is going on, brother? How you doing out there? Thank you for joining us here on the Monday Minutia here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. He said, hey, Unc, on already? What y'all talking about? You see, we're talking about the future of this team. What's the deal with the quarterback debate? Just trying to see where you all land. He says, it's probably the last year we have Brick. He will be poached from us. Happy Memorial Day. Yeah, man, we just, like I said, remembering all those folks who gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country. We do not forget them as a veteran. Trust me, it is very near and dear to my heart to make sure we honor those folks who were not able to come back in the line of duty, trying to do what they were trying to do for this country. We do appreciate that. Yeah, Ulbrich, I don't cry milk for that because you know what that says? That says he's doing a great job. I think this is where the Falcons say, okay, Nate Ollie might need you to learn whatever Brick is learning because Nate Ollie might be the next person that's looking for a DC job. Train up Nate Ollie. I don't think if Ulbrich does the same thing or improves this defense, I promise you he's not going to be here in 27. So hopefully they are, switching up and letting Nate Ollie get all he can get. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That means the organization is doing something right. You just have to make sure you fill in the slots with the right people. Everybody keeps alluding back to the Super Bowl year when we had Ulbrich on one side. Now remember, just remember that was what am I thinking about? What was that boy's name? Richard Smith? What was his name? Richard Smith? And Dan Quinn had to take over the defense. So that's when you start thinking about. Hold on one second, y'all. Got distracted there for something. That's when you start thinking about who you have in line. We didn't have anybody in line for Kyle's job. Should have had LaFleur in line, but we need to have somebody in line to make sure that they are ready just in case somebody has to take over. Hopefully they learned their lesson and they're coaching up Nate Ollie for taking over. Dexter says, I was hoping Jeff got an interview with us for head coaching this year. If you look at the last 6 defenses, the Jets had top 5 defenses 3 straight years. Then he came here and look what he did. And you know what? I'm not even going to lie to you, Dexter. There was a part of me that while I was excited that anybody not named Jimmy Lake was getting the job here as a defensive coordinator, there was a part of me, Dexter, that was saying, but you know what it is about the Jets? The Jets are always 3-13, 3-14, 12, 4-13. So they're always getting big time top draft picks in there. So they should have a really good defense. So not to say that they still can't coach those guys up, but there was a part of me that was saying, hey, man, was Ulbrich doing that or was it the talent? And then when he came here to Atlanta, he took the majority of the same team. Now, don't get me wrong, adding Diablo, bringing in the 2 rookies and everything like that, Pierce and Walker, made a difference. Xavier Watts on the back end. So I got a true appreciation for his coaching on there. But I'm not going to lie to you. I was kind of thinking, is he really that great or is it the talent that he had? But nope, I think it was him. I think we finished like 15 or 16 last year. Okay, as far as the defensive rank is concerned. And that kind of sounds familiar. If you remember, Dexter, the first part of the year, we were top 10. And we were getting those sacks that we weren't expecting last year. Ask Baker Mayfield, if you remember. Ron Thomas in the house, man. What's going on, Ron? How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Mr. Big Management says, what are your thoughts on the Bloodline Terrell brothers? Let me tell you something, man. I know a lot of people thought it was like gimmicky and things like that. Go back and watch some of the Clemson games with Avion. Yep, just like AJ, every now and then he took an L, but for the most part, go back and watch, man. He actually played some really good ball for Clemson, and we are going to I think when you look at this secondary in about a year or so, I don't know whether it's going to be with Jesse or not, but between the Terrell brothers and Xavier Watts and man, it wouldn't shock me if they slip Bowman up to that other safety. But you're setting up for a really nice backfield. So I do like the bloodline of AJ and Avion. I do feel like they're going to do their things. Again, Avion's going to take some lumps, as most first-year cornerbacks do. But I think in the long run, this is going to be a really good move for the Atlanta Falcons. It was not gimmicky at all. We got a solid cornerback. And quite honestly, there were a lot of people that was thinking he was going to go first round. So he had a first round grade in a lot of places. So I do like the move to draft him right there at that spot. David Starks is in the house. What is going on, my brother? Thank you for joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for hitting us up on a Monday, on the Monday Minutia. If you're in the Atlanta area, man, just be weird, man. These scattered storms, they have been something else. I am happy, though, because this weekend, I grilled this weekend. So what I usually do for holiday weekends on stuff like that, I usually grill like on Saturdays, like all day Saturdays, that's what I did this week. Did my grill, got everything that I was going to cook, took all day. I tell anybody, if you go out and grill, I don't know about you all, it's therapeutic to me just to sit out there. And one of my good friends, Rod Hurd, I got to give him a shout out, one of my classmates and one of my dear friends, he told me, he said, man, is that something about a man, his grill, something about a man with his meat, his grill, and some fire that is therapeutic. And he was probably right. It sounds, cavemanish, but it is true, man. To sit out, get you charcoal or if you use pellets or whatever. I'm a charcoal guy. Just to be able to get out there on the grill and get it ready and clean your grill and do all of that and get the temperature right where you want it, kind of play with the vent a little bit, get you right at that right mood, and just to sit on meat. Now, a long time ago, when I didn't know what I was doing, I keep the whole top off and not realizing what oxygen was doing to the charcoals. I thank my wife, Kira, for enduring those experimental times decades ago. But just to be able to now sit out, enjoy barbecuing, doing all that, it's therapeutic, man. It is very therapeutic. Alan Mike says, if Tua brings us to the playoffs, don't count them out, giving Tua $40 million. We are the Falcons. So, you might be right about that, brother. Well, I'm going to say this. If Tua were to start and Tua takes us to a division championship and one playoff win, all bets are off. And that's when you would probably say, ooh, do we trade Penix? Do we that? Those questions would come. Now, also keep in mind, folks, that, Tua is and I'm not going to say this hilariously or anything like that, but Tua is a hit on the ground from another concussion, too. So let's not pretend like Michael Penix is the only person that's trying to avoid injury. Quarterbacks get a bad rep sometimes, though. I know Michael has had his issues with the ACLs and the legs and all of that stuff. And we're really unfair sometimes to these guys when we, criticizing them about being injury prone. I think the injury prone just comes from the sometimes trying to do too much. I think even in the Penix case, last year, he wasn't really trying to do much. It's just a freak, crazy incident, and he got hurt again. And I hated that his reputation has become that. But I also told people, if you remember when it happened, remember, y'all, it was a partially torn ACL. It wasn't a full ACL tear as the other ones had been. So not to saying that, ACL tear is ACL tear, but maybe it healed a little differently or quicker or whatever you want to call it. Whatever it is, I'm glad to see him out there on the field. The one thing when everybody kept talking about a competition earlier when Coach Stefanski was out there, I was saying to myself, well, how can you give an honest assessment of the quarterback situation if one of your guys is coming off a ACL injury? So I do like the fact that I'm seeing him out there, not just dancing in his wedding, which is beautiful to see, but to see him out there on the field doing what he's doing, albeit in T-shirts and shorts. But, we'll see. David says, as far as the quarterback competition goes, I'm very much wait and see like everything else, coaching staff, free agent signings, etc., which is probably a good place to be, especially in May. On May 25th is so many things that we don't know. And that's not to say you can't have an opinion. That's not what I'm going with. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion about what should happen or how you should view this quarterback competition. I am saying in David's case, you almost have to wait and see. So many things might happen. And it happens every year. 2 people will go out hurt before we even get to training camp. It happens. It's not a jinx. It's not a thing. It happens. You're talking about athletes, period, going out there, pushing their body to limits. It's going to happen. So from that standpoint, we do have a good little wait and see. But for now, it's hard, man. I just kind of tune out. Everything else that's going on right now, it's just hard to truly focus on. Because I say until you get to the actual preseason game or actual scrimmages, and scrimmages kind of are even different from the games because scrimmages are controlled. And those team-on-team scrimmages, they aren't letting their quarterbacks get hurt. They aren't letting their quarterbacks get touched. So until we see some preseason action where, again, the other team has a different uniform, they're in pads, they're in helmets and doing their thing, that's when the competition starts. Robin in the house. What's going on, Robin? How you doing? Thank you for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining us on the Monday Minutia. Again, everybody coming in, please, if you don't mind, hit that like button for your Unc. I appreciate it. I don't even know what my count is now. Is it 1,700 yet? No, Mike, nope, feel like 1,680. Yeah, man. Help your Unc out, man. Y'all tell some people to subscribe to the channel so we can get up to 1,700. Got a goal of 2,000, hopefully, by the time the season starts. Plan to try to do a little traveling this year. Get out there and engage. For those of you I have engaged with, it's been awesome. It's awesome to talk and interact with other fans. Just an awesome feeling. And a lot of people always say, "I see your truck," and everything, which is a good feeling. If I cut you off, my bad. But other than that, it's always good to holler at y'all, man. Robin said, "What's going on, man? How are you, have been on a while, been busy. Update on my son. He went undrafted and he didn't sign with anyone. He has accepted a job at Valdosta State for a conditioning coach. And let me tell you something, Robin, that you tell him congratulations on that move. And sometimes, the plan is temporarily diverted. The opportunities that he may get a chance to do, whether as a conditioning coach or moving up to another aspect of coaching, or who knows, maybe something happens in one area where somebody wants to come in and bring them a trial or come in and try out. That's fine too. But whatever it is, it's good to see that you saying the words accepting a job. Trust me. In today's day and age, that is awesome. So I give a shout out to your son, and please tell him that Unc is proud of him, and whatever he plans on pursuing, pursue it to the fullest, man. Life is short, brother. It'll turn around, and next thing you know, you're on a podcast with gray hair and your bobblehead sitting behind you doing the podcast. So tell him to keep doing what he's doing, man. Awesome. David says, hate cleaning that grill afterwards. I've tried so many different things because as much as I love to grill, to David's part, the pre and post grill, and the problem is with the post. So I finished grilling on Saturday, and we had some folks over on Sunday. So obviously you don't get a chance to grill there. So today would have been a good day to go out there and do it. But guess what? The rain has been spotty, in and out. So you haven't had a chance to do it yet. But yeah, I do not look forward to doing any cleaning of the grill. You know what I saw? I saw this little thing, like the little steam cleaner grill. If anybody has any but that, let me know how that works. Because that looks like something, but the commercials make it look so easy. Like, look, just brush it over the grill and it cleans off. And I can't be that easy. But I know it always take me about 5-10 minutes, soak it a little bit, then get it off. But yes, cleaning gets on your nerves. Mr. Big Management, would you add anyone to the team that might still be out there right now? You know what? That's actually an excellent question. And because you asked that, what I'm going to do is let's look into the free agents that we have at this moment. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Let me give y'all some music. Wait. Da 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 da. All right, so we got available folks here. So I'm gonna pull this up on the screen so we can look at it together. Share screen. We can look at NFL free agents. And let's look at the list as we have it right now. So, Mr. Big Management, I appreciate that question. Let's look, and then I'm not going to go all the way down the list, but I'm going to look at some of the folks that we have down there. Tyreek Hill, I've heard a couple of people say take a chance on him. Look, not knowing whether whatever the relationship was with him and Tua, it would be kind of interesting. That market value, $15 million, is probably right around what he's looking for. I'm not sure we have the money for that. And even if we had the money, I'm not sure it would be in one Tyreek Hill. Tyreek had some issues as well. Hopefully he's gotten over most of that. But to say he wouldn't be a weapon would be a lie. I think that would be something else. Stephon Diggs just got over some stuff as well off the field, so he's kind of cleared up again. Not sure for the money. I would do Stephon Diggs too. I could see Tyreek. Tyreek would definitely serve a purpose as somebody stretching the field. Or as Stephon Diggs, we already have a possession receiver in Drake London, so I think that's good. Taylor Decker, didn't he just resign with him? I didn't know if he was still a free agent or not. So I don't know whether this is updated. So maybe it's not. Marshawn Lattimore is still out there, but I just re-signed the Terrell brothers, so not sure whether that's going to happen. Deebo Samuel, another wide receiver we could look at, but I think between Zachariah Branch, I think he's going to kind of fill that role. Jack Conklin for tackle, and I think he said he was retiring. I could be wrong on that. Hassan Reddick out there as far as he's concerned. Jonnu Smith out there. I'm trying to see, some of these names sound like they may have signed. I know Taysom Hill has not re-signed. Leonard Floyd, not sure what he's doing. Bobby Wagner, same thing. So to answer the question right off the rip, there's nobody that I see on that list that really jumps up at me. As far as that's concerned, I would like to see us maybe get another safety back in the back. We got to think, as much as some of us don't want to think about it, we got to think post Jesse, because I think Jesse is still at a spot where he's probably going to command a lot of money with that next contract. If the Falcons do it, cool. But if they don't do it, we can't just be left with just Xavier on one side. It would be good to have somebody solid from a safety standpoint. And also, just trying to see how solidified we are at the center position. Newsel did a decent job last year, but listen, if we can improve the offensive line, Bill Callahan will let us know, I'm sure, by the time we get to training camp, whether we do. But at this time right now, I'm okay. Maybe another linebacker. I think Bobby Wagner might be a little too old for me at this point. I know he would be a great leader, but right now, maybe in the safety spot. How about that? Maybe in the safety spot. Dexter says, for real, we're pretty deep on defense. You get Pierce back, hopefully. You pair them with OJ and Ibakam, who had his best year under Ollie. Only position I would still attack is wide receiver. BDGJ would be a nice trade. I'm going to say this. As far as Pierce is concerned, I just have this sneaky suspicion his timing is going to be right around the time of that bye, which is late. I think I could see him being on the team after the international game or after the bye. And obviously, with the international game, we got one game and then the bye. I can truly see him on the team after that. And I think that might be a satisfying thing. All the personal stuff is kind of passed by. So hopefully we can get him back on the field. My buddy Bobby is on that. What is going on, brother? How you doing? He said, "A happy Memorial Day, brother, man. I'm super biased in my quarterback pick to start, and I'm pulling for Penix 100%. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that because again, I've told everybody else, I am gonna, I have a heart for Michael Penix. I think I've told those of you who've been watching a lot of time, spent a lot of time in the military up in the Pacific Northwest and the Washington area. So I've had an affinity for UW, even though obviously born and bred Georgia, but that little 4-year time I spent up there, which is the longest stint I had in the longest part of my military stint. That was just an area I paid attention to. I was up there when they won the national championship back in 90, 89, 90, one of the two. And I just I keep up with Washington football. So when I talk about Penix, when I talk about Braylon Trice, who I hope is healthy and gets another chance, when I talk about them, it's because I've had a little bit of affinity for those guys. Mr. Big Washington. I'm sorry. That didn't. Oh, man. Mr. Big Management. I'm sorry, brother. Is that who might be getting cut on June 1st? That's going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, they designated the Kirk Cousins thing. So obviously he's getting cut. I don't know if you have any candidate. Let's go look right quick. Well, let's look again while we are hold on. NFL team. Right here. Let's see. The Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons. Okay. So let's look on this list since we are sharing stuff. Let's look at the Atlanta Falcons. I'll put this off for a second for you, buddy. I am still, I know he's been on a lot of videos. No, excuse me. I know he was even on the little schedule release thing. I'm wondering still 100% how this Jesse Bates stuff is going to work out because I just don't see them letting him walk. You see what I'm saying? Like he gets a good little chunk of money this year, and I just don't see them letting him walk like that. I just don't see it. And if it happens, it does, but that would just be a very interesting move if they did. I'm not suggesting I want him gone. I obviously would love to have Jesse still back there. But Jesse's 29. Jesse's probably going to get another really big contract, 2 All-Pro designations since he's been here. He's going to get paid. It's just a matter, quite honestly, whether he wants to stay in Atlanta. I don't know if Atlanta's going to pay him over $20 million, knowing that we have Bijan, knowing that we have Drake to pay. But you were talking about cuts going down the line. Who's going to be here? Charlie Warner. Is he expendable now? Now that you brought in Hooper and you need maybe another blocking tight end, maybe the young Simon guy can take his place. They're acting like Mike Hughes is going to be in the mix. Him and Avion battling for that other position. Clark Phillips is somebody that I keep my eye on as far as making this team. That's almost $4 million. And not knowing, let me see how much of a cut they would take if he was cut. $3 million. And let's see. Let's manage his contract very quickly. I love spot track because you can do that. So at $3 million this year, if you cut him, after June 1st, you would save $3 million. So it's a $193,000 hit. So number one so far, Clark Phillips the third is probably a candidate to be cut, possibly. A lot of the guys who are coming in, none of them are candidates. Liam is long snapper. He's not going anywhere. Really not a lot of candidates because really, if you look at it, a lot of guys aren't making huge money except the ones at the very beginning. So I'll stick with that. Look at Clark Phillips to be a possible candidate. Bobby said, how about the rain caught me out here 10 minutes after I put my meats on? I know how you felt it was coming down. I'm telling you, and I know where you are. Trust me, it came down like sheets right around here. So I hope you were able to dip in there, man. It really started coming down, brother. I hope it didn't mess up your night too much. You might have about another hour or so of sunlight, so maybe you can get that out there. Kelvin, man, what's going on, man? How you doing out there? Thanks for joining us, brother. He said a lot of value still unsigned. Absolutely. Yeah. So we definitely are looking at that. Look at the value, what we need. And again, unfortunately, injuries are going to happen. So maybe they're also saving some of that salary for that as far as that's concerned. Dexter says, I don't think he gets suspended for no games. Are you saying no games? Come back to me, Dexter. I see what you're saying. I don't think he gets suspended for it. But if you're saying no games, I'm not even. I think he's probably gonna have to do at least 2. Because remember, whatever the NFL proposes, he's there. The Players Association is gonna come and appeal it. So you're cut off for no. I'm just trying to make sure you're saying no games at all. If you're saying no games at all, I think they got to slap him on the wrist a little bit. But I can see anywhere from 2. I don't think it's going to be any more than 4, though. And because without getting into all details of what's going on, because obviously whatever happened, whatever stuff was brought out that what he said, she said, all of that. The bottom line is the charges that he is that he was on the line for, they felt comfortable enough to let him go ahead and get into the program. And they say if he passes the program, they'll drop the charges. So my thing is, if they felt that comfortable enough, then I think he's out of it. I think you're not going to slap on the wrist that much. Mr. Big Manager says, how are we going to pay Drake London and I'm sure you meant Bijan Robinson as far as that's concerned. It's easy, quite honestly. I mean, the thing with Bijan, remember, even if you sign Bijan to a contract, say if you sign him to a contract right now, and they already, I think, have picked up his 5th-year option, if I'm not mistaken. I think they did. So signing him to a contract now, his salary number doesn't come in until 2028. So if you sign them to a huge a deal with a big bonus, you can actually take that signing bonus and split it up down the line. You don't have to pay them all at that spot. So Bijan's case is a little bit different. Signing Bijan now, the reason the positive, or not positive, but the advantage you have on signing Bijan now is because the quicker you sign him, the more his value can't go up. Like his value is up right now. Say, for instance, if he goes out next year, run for 2,000 yards, takes us to the playoffs, and moves up, guess what, folks? He's going to be off the roof. It's going to be a lot to pay. So you want to go ahead and take care of that as soon as possible. Drake London, again, another case. Drake London, you can afford to pay Drake next year. A lot of money comes off the books next year. Matter of fact, I'm going back to look at the dead money coming off next year includes $11 million from Darnell Mooney, McGarry, $3 million. Rook, that money comes off now because of the trade. Morgan Fox, $750. Okay, so not as much after that, but you have $42 million dead money coming off next year. So you're in good shape on being able to sign your players. There's no worry about it. King Richie in the house, man. What is up, brother? What is up? I tried to hit my thumb. Yeah, King got to get that love, man. What is going on, my brother? He said, hey, what's good? As much as I hate to say it, I didn't like the head coach hire, but I'm starting to like the staff. I see a little difference in Penix throwing motion, or it just me. No, he definitely looks different, King. And he does. And King, and I know you're knowledgeable enough to not fall for the shirts and T-shirt, but it does look like mechanically, is it just me or it got out a little bit quicker? And this is the key thing, man. King, and I'm glad you were able to see, you say you didn't like it at first. And that's fine. You don't have to, people don't have to like the head coach. Dude, how many people didn't like Raheem coming in here? That's fine. But as we see what they are doing down the line, I like the fact that King has a switch to say it ain't personal. He might be doing something better than what we were doing before. So I like that. I like the fact that King said, no, I didn't like the hire, but mechanically he might be getting that hitch out of the giddy up for Penix. And hopefully there are a lot more things to come as far as that's concerned. But it's not just you. He looks different. And King also, as many fans are thinking, did we trying to think the right word, did we stunt Michael Penix's growth with a rookie OC? Did we stunt his growth by not having, DJ Williams, everybody was saying how great of a quarterback coach he was. I don't know whether that was a friend or whether that was a quarterback coach, whatever. Lineage aside, was he really helping to develop him? I don't know. We also have to remember he only has 11. Is it 11 starts as an NFL quarterback? I think only 11 starts. I would just love to see what he can do under a real offensive mind like Kevin Stefanski. Say what we want to say about Stefanski. He took the Cleveland Browns. I want to make sure people hear me. The Cleveland Browns, prior to him getting there, hadn't won in a long time. Cleveland Browns. Yes, the last couple of years are horrible. I think they have a horrible ownership. I think they're playing around. They messed around and got another quarterback this past draft. And Cleveland, I think it was so much more than the coaching. The bad rap Stefanski is get for all those folks who glaze on Shedeur Sanders. He did Shedeur wrong. Shedeur. Kevin Stefanski might have been put in a no-win situation. I don't think for the world that he really wanted to draft Shador. I don't think he did. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I'm not sure he did. So I kind of don't blame some people for their thoughts on Stefanski, but I tend to believe this is going to be a pretty good match. Michael said, I say Washington, the wide receiver, is gone. I think he is too. I'm not sure his salary is going to be super significant. Alan Mike, let me see what he's making this year. Yeah, Casey Washington's make $1.1 million. So, yeah, that's a little, but our dead cap hit is $90,000. So I'm not sure that would be as significant, but I'm with you. Yeah, Casey Washington, soon as they sign Alameda and Dotson, Casey Washington probably start looking on Realtor.com around that time. Right around the time he saw those guys sign. Dexter says, I don't see him getting suspended for no more than 6 games, but I think he will be suspended for 2. If he do right there are no charges on him. If no charges, why did they try to punish him long term? Yeah, I think the precedent has been set, Dexter. I'm with you. I have always been with that mindset that if the law is saying they're not going to punish him, why does the NFL get to come back and punish him? I think the NFL is saying, hey, from whenever that incident happened in, was it January, February, until whenever they came up with the agreement, which I think was in April or early April, you embarrassed the league. You brought shame upon the league. And I'm just putting words in there. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, in my opinion, it looked like the young man had a bad mistake. We all speculate about what happened in the personal life. None of us knows unless you are friends of his or hers and whatever. But I speculate the young man had a bad incident. And I speculate that if he had the chance, he would have done things differently. Now, anything that happens after this, see Rashid Rice, you on your own. But I can see your point about the suspension. I don't think 6 games. I don't think he's going to get 6 games. I really don't think he's going to get that much. 4 tops, and they'll probably plead that down to 2. Tay Bro in the house. What's going on, Tay Bro? He said, came in late. Watch replay. Camp battle should be good. They should be great. And now you have people that don't have favorites. I don't think Raheem, who publicly said he had a special relationship with Young Wei Koo as he was missing kicks. And like, dude, we ain't got time for that. We need to win games. We ain't got time for all of that. If Nick Folk comes in here and he misses 2 out of his first 4 kicks, you got to think about cutting him. You got to. We can't play those games. We cannot play those games. Is Lenny Craig still on the roster? I don't know if he is or not. I don't see him on here. But it's too easy to get another kicker to come in here. Can't play those games. I think playing those games cost us games the year before and cost us games this year. Cost us games in the 2024 season and cost us a couple of games in 2025. Mr. Big Management says we will have top 5 in cap space next season, correct? Top 5, I'm not sure. Top 10, we should be close. Top 5, I think we're probably going to be right around $50 to $60 million. If that puts us top 5, cool. I don't think that's it. Most of the time when you start seeing that cap space for that. I could be wrong. Let me see. Let me see if I can answer that question for you, sir. Uh, we start talking about NFL. That will be interesting to see. Team cap. All right, 2027. I stand corrected. You are right. As of right now, so I stand correct. As of right now, if and this is with no re-signings, no anything like that. As of right now, the Atlanta Falcons would have almost $78 million in cap space. Now, also keep in mind, we had a lot of one-year contracts out there. So that's going to get sopped up very quickly. So I do apologize. You're absolutely right. Miami is going to have like they're going to have about 90 million. And then Arizona is second. And my math is mathing. So I think it's 70, 74. So, yeah. So you are right. My apologies. Nope. At this moment, top three. But again, enter in Bijan's contract, enter in Drake's contract. That will change very quickly. King says the only thing that Zach was trying to develop was his playbook. Yeah, and who lets somebody comes in and figure out how to do their stuff on the fly, King. You're trying to keep your job. That's crazy. Jack Doe is in the house, man. What's going on, my brother? He said, yeah, Cleveland will always be Cleveland. See you guys September 1st. Jack Doe is a big Steelers fan, and I'm here to tell you, he's going to be in for a rude awakening. And it's so weird to hear him talk about that. But listen, the Steelers kind of fell into that position last year as the AFC North kind of took a step back as far as the grittiest division in the league. They probably were second to the NFC South as far as the worst divisions. I don't really have a lot of faith in Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was super special last year. Their defense is not a defense that I'm looking at. And don't get me wrong, I'm still a huge Hayward fan, a huge TJ Watt fan as far as their abilities are concerned. But I'm not sure that team is going to be the same as they were before. I think they take a step back. Yeah, I'm just not feeling Pittsburgh this year. And McCarthy is going to break the string of successful back-to-back-to-back coaches from Noel to Field. What's my boy's name? The coach on CBS. And Mike Tomlin. David says, speaking of stunning Penix's growth, don't forget the lackluster receiving core last year. So that's the other thing. So again, I tell people this, which is really weird that was another conversation my son and I were having. Tell me if I'm right or not. And this is not I don't even think this is making a crazy statement. Yeah, I see you, Dave. The Bill Cowher. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, brother. This is not even making a crazy statement. This is the best wide receiver core we had since Julio left. That's 6 years ago now? This is the best collection of wide receivers we have had. I'm not telling you Alumni and Dotson are world beaters, but I'm saying the combination of Drake London, OZ, Dotson, and Pitts is the best wide receiver core that we've had since Julio left. And you might even want to argue, because at one time it was Julio and a lot of nothing. Mr. FanDuel, Calvin Ridley. But this is the best wide receiver core we've had since then. Now, will they pay dividends with the quarterbacks we have? That's the question. Good point. Georgia, Texas boy in the house, man. What is going on, brother? Good to have you in here. Y'all make sure y'all check him out, man. He's been doing his thing now, doing his podcasting. Y'all please look out for him on the run, on the rise, doing his thing. Say, what's up, Uncle Steve and Falcons family? The new era is here. Yes, indeed, sir. We need the new era to come through for us in a big way. Mr. Big Management says, what's the best stadium you have visited before? Woo. At the moment, I would probably say I really love Minnesota's stadium. I like their stadium. Pretty good. That was actually a really good place to visit. The Minnesota Stadium. Not a fan of Charlotte. Philly is overrated. Nice atmosphere once you get in, but the stadium itself is overrated. MetLife is overrated. But yeah, Minnesota right now. You know what? I take that back. Scratch that. Scratch Minnesota. Minnesota's second that I've been to. Las Vegas. Is that Reliant? Yeah, Las Vegas. No doubt. No doubt. I apologize. I forgot all about Vegas. That was a beautiful stadium. Beautiful stadium. Love the Vegas Stadium. That's a really good place. Yeah, I take that back. Vegas. I can't wait till we get another game. That was one of the best experiences. That was the game. That was the last game Kirk Cousins started until Penix got hurt in 25. But yeah, that was a very nice stadium in there. Nice atmosphere, man. Nice atmosphere in there too. Next it says, if I'm not tripping, I think we have over $100 million to do all these players on 1-year deals. I think we number 3. We don't have a lot of people making money besides Matthew and Terrell Bates gone. Yeah, and I know you might have wrote this before I corrected myself, and you're absolutely right. I just looked on there and saw that. So my apologies, Big Management, when he was talking about that. I unlike others that y'all might listen to, brother, I can be corrected in a heartbeat. No, there is no shame. That's why I like being hopefully a facilitator of the fans, because I have zero problem saying I'm wrong. And in that situation, I was wrong. It's Atlanta, you're right, close to $100 million in cap space. So it does look like. But again, also keeping in mind that we still have some folks to sign in here. It said Lindstrom made money, but we got a lot of players on rolling contracts, players who got to be paid like Bergeron, Drake, Robinson, Pitts, and Devine. We got some money to play with. We do have money to play with. So like I said, around this time, and really even after the summer, because I think they're gonna have to do something with Drake unless they got other ideas. They're gonna have to do something with Drake before the year starts. I don't think they let Drake go or trade him or anything. Drake is a great possession receiver. And it's just really good to have him. He is Mike Evans. He is Mike Evans when Mike Evans was in his 4th or 5th year. To me, he goes up and gets it, and he's tough. Tabro says, hot take, another quarterback will be competing for starting quarterback in 27. I don't even doubt that. And when you say another quarterback, I even go as far to say, especially if this explodes in there. And obviously, as a Falcon fan, Tabro, I hope and pray it doesn't. But if it does, and the Tua Michael Penix competition is nothing to see and more of who's going to be worse, it wouldn't shock me to see them go in this draft. There are some young, talented guys in this draft coming out. I don't even know who's the free agent next year because I think the majority of these jobs are taken up. Anybody else you're taking a chance on right now is somebody that's going to be a second string on a team right now. So, yeah, I 100% could see that. But keep in mind, if we see that, Tay-Bro, that means we're going to be a top 5 pick. That means we're one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I'm hoping you're wrong just for that sake. But as far as reality is concerned, you're absolutely right. If things don't go well, can you say Trinidad Chambliss? I don't know why I like him. Georgia Tech supporter said, what are your thoughts on Tua being 32-0 when the defense gives up less than 20 points? I like that stat. I also, listen, Mike McDaniel, he knew what to do with him, man. And dude, your goal is to outscore the opponent. And when Miami had everybody rolling, when everybody was healthy, those guys were doing their thing. And Tua's learning from a different mind, but was supposed to be a gifted mind. Let's hope he can keep that up. He got a better offensive line than he had in Miami right now. I don't know about weapons. Waddle and Tyreek Hill is going to be kind of hard to beat. Running back, as good as that chain is, I don't think he's Bijan. So I can see that. I can see him doing well. I can see us scoring over 20 points. Dexter said that should be rookie contracts. I probably messed up on that. Mr. Big Management says the good part about next season is if the quarterbacks don't work out this year, we'll probably have a huge draft pick for next season. Again, reiterating what I was saying, with a good crop of quarterbacks coming out year, probably highlighted with the last name Manning, but I'm not sure he's going to even be one of the first couple of people picked. But there are a lot of guys, and think about all those guys who are coming back from, doing 50 years and 6 years. So it's going to be some talent coming out next year. So I think if you're the Falcons, ideally, you want to work within what you have. But if you can't find it with what you have, there are some options. Definitely. Alan Mike says the only one crying Raheem is gone is the Peachtree Cleaners. Wow. Oh, man. Y'all ain't giving him no chill. Tay-Bro says, I'm hoping our defense save us just enough to win the division. Tay-Bro, and I know I've said this the last couple of years, and I kind of even stand on it last year. I just think we had the most talented roster. We ran into, I think Raheem did not help us as a leader on this team, as a leader for this team. That's not a personal shot. It's not even a expert shot because I don't know. As a fan, I'm just saying I feel like on paper, so many folks around this league kept looking at this Atlanta team saying, why are you guys 8-9? Why are y'all losing the division to Carolina? You're beating up on Tampa Bay the last couple of years, but y'all can only win 8 games. You're losing games to the Jets. You're getting shut out by 30 at Carolina. And a lot of folks are looking like, what are y'all doing? You have too much of a good team to be taking these L's. Why is that? Maybe you had the wrong people in charge. I like Terry Fontenot, and Terry Fontenot gave us 2 nice drafts the last 2 years. But I can't ignore the fact that I'm looking at what he did with Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts is great at catching passes, but was he the 4th person you should have chose overall in a draft? A tight end? And he probably had to pay for those past football sins. The signing of Kirk Cousins, then drafting of Michael Penix. You had to do one or the other. You sign Kirk, get a either rookie in the 3rd or 4th round, even though my son did tell me it was interesting. The year that Penix came out, do y'all know the only quarterback? Real quick, don't look it up. Don't look it up. I'm gonna see how y'all doing. That's a big quiz. Other than the top 6 quarterbacks picked in 23, so that's Caleb, Drake, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. Real quick, who was the only other quarterback taken in the draft that year? Real quick. I know if you're looking on Google, stop. Don't do it. You should be ashamed of yourself if you're looking at Google. If you're looking online, you should be knowing that as a football guy or gal. But I will see who's gonna lie and say they looked it up. I know some of y'all looking it up. Tell me who the only quarterback that was drafted other than those 6 in the 1st round. And that's crazy. I saw that, and my son told me that. I said, "Oh, I can't believe that." That was good. Michael through at you, man. You leave my boy Felipe alone. ATL Skate Man in the house. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Oh, man. Big Management says Ian Cunningham and Matt Ryan did a great job and was cooking to get the roster better than we thought they were. They did a good job, but like I said, let's see what they do coming in, man. Monte Carlo in the house, man. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank y'all for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. It's the Monday Minutia. Just chopping it up with you all today, talking some Falcons. And yes, Dexter, you are right. Spencer Rattler is the and I hope you weren't talking about Slaw. But Spencer Rattler was the quarterback that was picked. He was the only other quarterback picked in that draft, other than the top 6 guys that went in the 1st round. So that tells you how desperate people are for a quarterback play. Absolutely. Big Badger said, "I'll take a guess. The Patriots quarterback. I can't call his name right now. Only other person I was thinking you might be thinking of is Zappy, but I think he was the year before that he came out. That was the guy that did a lot of things. But I was looking for Spencer Rattler, who Dexter got on there. That was the one. That was the only other quarterback pick. So that says what? That says that when you need a quarterback and there's a quarterback-rich draft, and I'm telling y'all, this draft coming up for 2027, I'm trying to look real quick. Let me see. Just out of curiosity. Let's see if they already got. Yeah, they got 2027 up already. So I'll just go to the. And again, keep it in mind that a lot is going to happen between now and then. But some of the quarterbacks that are probably coming out next year, barring injury, barring anything like that, Arch Manning out of Texas, Dante Moore out of Oregon. A lot of people thought if Dante Moore came out last year, he would have been the number 1 pick. I joined that group. I think he would. Young man from Ohio State, Julian Sang, even though I think his team carried him more than he did. I think he happened to be the beneficiary of a really good defense and a pretty good running back core. CJ Carr, who now plays at Notre Dame. Darian Mensah, if y'all haven't seen him when he played for Duke, when they won the uh, ACC championship by default, basically. He's at University of Miami now, and Miami, trust me, they got a good one. Lenoris Sellers, who many would have thought last year was going to be one of the top guys in the league, and it just hit me as I'm pulling this out that I'm not showing y'all this. Hold on. My apologies. I thought I had. Uh-oh. Thought I had this on there. Oh man. Here we go. Share screen. Here we go. Big board. There we go. All right. So that's the list of the folks. Think about it. Here we go. So you're talking Archman and Dante Moore, Julian saying CJ Carr, Darian Mensah, Lenoris Sellers, Brendan Sorsby, who's in a little bit of gambling issues right now. So I don't know where he's going to land. Trinidad Shambliss, who a lot of people thought was a little green. He should get better. Drew Mestermaker, DJ Lagway, who I guess this is the dividing line for me because I just never DJ Lagway. I've just never got it. I mean, with Florida, I don't think he was a true. I don't know. I don't think he was a true guy as far as that's concerned. True guy, a true option. John Mateer faded at the end. Sam Levitt at LSU. So, yeah, those are the guys they're saying. So, in other words, pretty deep draft that you got right there. Mr. Big Management says, what are your thoughts on the New Orleans Saints game for Monday night? Yeah, a lot of people made the big deal out of that as far as that's the 20-year anniversary, of course, of the game, the day they reopened the Superdome, the Steve Gleason punt block, and eventually Saints pretty much turned their whole franchise around during that time. Drew Brees went on a historic run with the Saints, and from that moment on, they pretty much owned the Falcons from the time till Drew Brees left there. I think a lot of that is gone, to be honest with you. I don't think the Saints are truly in a more of a rebuilding mode than we are. I think they had a really good offseason, but I think they're still behind us right now as far as team development is concerned. Can they beat us? Yes. But, I don't know. We'll see. My man Willie Doc is in the house, man. What's up, Willie? Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. He said, thanks for your service. Happy Memorial Day. I appreciate that, man. Again, love this day because, again, those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And, again, a lot of us vets who were able to come back and were able to talk about things and deal with that. We are so appreciative of what those guys meant to us. We appreciate that. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support as always, man. Thank everybody for the support. It's been a really good stream today. I got a lot of conversation out of everybody today. David says, I've seen other mocks that have Mestermeyer ahead of Sellers, which is why if things don't work out with Penix, I say get him in the second round. You might be on to something right there. He definitely had a good year. I would love to see the improvement of Trinidad Shambliss, not even just for the Falcons. He's somebody that I saw with some interesting tools, man. And if he could get it together, I think he'd be all right. As Georgia had to deal with him twice and got lucked up the first time, not the second time. Robin says, hey, what about Gunnar Stockton? Let me tell you something. I like Gunnar Stockton as a nitty-gritty, I can run the defense type of dude. He seems like a football guy, a little rugged. I don't know. I know people are going to probably want to mirror his style to Stetson, obviously, being a little undersized, definitely able to get the ball out there. I got to see one more year of Gunnar Stockton. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think Gunnar would have a great year last year, and he fooled me. And kind of like Stetson, remember the first year he came out there and he got out there on the field and he stunk it up, and people were like, dude, put AJ back out there. No, was it what's my boy name? Jake, what's the little backup quarterback at Georgia that went to like Rice and West Virginia, and he started at USC, right? What is his name? JT Stewart, AJ Stewart, something, whatever his name was. They put Gunnar out there in that one game, and he didn't do that well, and they were like, put the other guy back in there. And Kirby Smart had the last laugh because not only did Stetson go out there and hold a team together and won them their first championship in dang near 40 years, also had a really good quarterback year the next year. With the year, the year they beat the snot out of TCU. JT Daniels, that's a brother. Thank you, David. JT Daniels. JT Daniels got to be the one of the most hard luck guys. He went to USC, came to Georgia. We were like, yep, this is the spot. Got beat by the walk-on. Went to West Virginia the next year. Then I think ended up at Rice, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm sure he got some nice name and likeness money, but man, that's got to be crazy. Mr. Big Management says, should we continue drafting UGA players for the future? If they keep playing like they are, absolutely. Why not? Why not? I'll extend it over to Georgia. I think the SEC players, now, don't get me wrong, I know the Big Ten folks are going to be like, wait a minute, we won the national championship. We won some national championships last year. But these SEC players, man, these are men. These high schoolers are going in there built up. So put them guys in there, man. Atlanta Bird Gang in the house, man. What is going on, my brother? I'll make sure y'all check out my brother on the Atlanta Bird Gang, man. He always does his thing out there. I know we all have been kind of quiet lately on here, and we'll all start getting things, back up to snuff once the real football stuff starts. He reminds me about JT Daniels. And it's so weird, man, because I thought he was going to be a difference maker too. And when they didn't, if y'all remember, if y'all go back to that season, there were a lot of people saying, oh, why is he keeping Stetson Bennett out there? Why is he keeping Stetson Bennett? You got JT Daniels, and JT Daniels was hurt. But remember, JT had got healthy. And they still kept Stetson Bennett out there. And people were probably like, what is Kirby doing? Little did they know, 2 championships later, Kirby got the last laugh. So he knew what they were doing. Y'all make sure y'all check Atlanta Bird Game out on YouTube. Doing this thing, man. I can't wait to see what he has in store for 2026 on his channel there. Ala Mike says, did we get a run? We get a run stop. Did we get a run stopper? We need one bad. We got chewed up on the ground last season. I think they brought in a couple of guys on 1-year contracts to kind of feel the need right there. I mean, we overpaid Onyemata last year, quite honestly. I was kind of upset about that because I said you got rid of Grady, which wasn't a surprise, but you kept Onyemata, who was solid, but definitely wasn't $16 million worth solid. But we drafted a couple of guys, and hopefully we can kind of get ourselves back on track as far as run stop is concerned. Thank you, Robin. Yep, JT Daniels. Like I say, I always look. Y'all are better than Google to me. Fans are, because I promise you, when I watch streaming things like you all watch sometimes, and I'm screaming at the person, the host, and I'm like, "No, that's wrong. That's so and so. That's so and so." But I'll ask y'all. I ain't scared to say I don't know. I don't. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Robin. That one Falcon fan for life is in the house. What is going on, man? What's going on? He said, what it do? For this season, I got Tua starting for the first 6-7 weeks, and then Penix take over. I think we play it smart and let Penix pull a heel before getting back out there instead of rushing. And I'm sure you mean rushing them back out there. I know everybody goes with the let's let them come back halfway in the middle of the season thing. But barring Tua stinking it up. So let's play out your scenario. The first 6 to 7 weeks. And I'm not messing with you. I'm saying hypothetically what you're saying. 6 or 7 weeks, and the Falcons go 4-3. Offense looks good. You had a couple of bad breaks. The other team basically outplayed you. Do you bring Michael Penix back if things are going okay? I mean, so I'm a big believer in, man, if it's rolling, let it roll. I don't think I want to stop the momentum. I think the thing that happened with Kirk Cousins and bringing in Penix, I think if people remember when we beat Dallas and we were 6-3 and riding high on the hog, nobody was thinking about Michael Penix at that time. But then Kirk Cousins kind of wasn't truthful. Of course, he told his folks on Netflix, "Oh, I got hurt, and then I got hurt. I was hurt, and I didn't want Michael to take my job." Instead of thinking about the team and saying, you know what? Hey, I'm hurt, but I'm rolling right here. I'm having a good year. Let me let the young man come in here for me while I'm hurt and keep this thing rolling as a team. I'm not saying we would have beat Denver, would have beat Minnesota. We would have beat the Chargers when Kirk was throwing 3-4 interceptions that game. But it was a little selfish play going on with Kirk at that time. So going back, I'm just not a big believer in the plan on the guy starting and then let the other guy come in when healthy. No, start the guy and keep the guy you're going with. Mr. Big Management, is Drake London the best receiver we had since Julio Jones? Yeah, you can probably got to say so. I mean, there was some argument that Calvin could have been that guy had he stayed around a little longer. But and the one thing I think people argue with is, Drake hasn't played with any great quarterback. So that's where I go. John Harris is in the house, man. I appreciate my brother John doing this thing, man. Y'all make sure y'all check John out on his channel, man. He is always opinionated, strongly opinionated. Y'all make sure y'all check my brother out. He said, I'm commenting so that I won't get fined. And that's my brother. Always good to hang out with him, man. Trust me, some of the best football conversations that we have, and I'm talking about all of us as content creators, but especially me and John, are off the air. And it's almost one of those things where he's like, man, I wish we had a tape recorder to tape our stuff, because some of the animated conversations we have about the Falcons are truly just organically out there. So I appreciate my brother supporting, man, and thank you so much for always tuning in and always being a breath of fresh air out here in this Atlanta content creator space, my friend. Thank you for the super chat on here. I didn't even play like last time for Willie Doc.
Here we take our time, what's the rush? You with Uncle Steve, that's my uncle. Here we take our time, what's the rush? You with Uncle Steve, that's my uncle. Uncle Steve, that's...
And get my buddy over here. Me and him got to do another dual broadcast. We haven't done that in a while. My brother Toddy says, funny how fate plays itself out at times. If JD doesn't get hurt, in all likelihood, we are probably still hearing 1980s jokes. That is so profound. If y'all think about that. And if I'm not mistaken, Toddy, remind me, wasn't, because it was the Notre Dame game, I think, that he started in place of JT? Or was it that during the game? I can't remember what it was, but whatever it was, when he took over, and fans were not feeling Stetson Bennett. Oh, they love him now. But he's absolutely right. Fate is B. Because if JT comes back, there is a chance we probably aren't talking about back-to-back national championships. Kirby Smart isn't the genius that he is right now in college sports. Y'all know Kirby is probably sitting on top since Saban left. And we're not having that conversation. He's absolutely correct. Mr. Big Rock Management said, when we play running quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, should we have a quarterback spy to slow down the run? Believe it or not, I think if you look around right now, I don't really think we got killed as much. I'm trying to think who killed us on the ground last year, quarterback-wise. Bryce Young got us a few times. Baker always has like one run or two. It's not like he's doing it the whole game. I don't know. Committing that spy is just giving up so much, man. I know people run to let's let him be a spy. But when you got one person that's solely connected to the quarterback, those tight ends eat. And these days, you almost can't do that in the NFL. It's a good question, though. Great question. Willie Dot says Penix plays if A, he is healthy and truly beats Tua in training camp. B, if Tua is hurt and he comes in. C, if Tua is god-awful and he comes in. If Tua is winning, no need to switch. Every scenario, 100% makes sense. Yep. Same applies for Tua. 100%. That's how you got to think about it. I don't rock the boat. Hughes Corporation, for those of you back in my day. Don't rock the boat. If you thought at the beginning of the year as a coaching staff and organization that Tua gives you that chance to win, we're 5-3, Michael Penix is healthy, you don't change a thing. Michael Penix becomes your backup. And as he said, vice versa. If you think Michael Penix gives you the best chance to win, you keep him in there. I said, barring injury, but you keep him in there. Makes too much sense. That one Falcon fans about Pierce, I think he gets a 6 to 8 game suspension and still gets 7.5 sacks. I don't think, and y'all got to remember, a lot of this is where probably the little class that he's taking is gonna kind of help downplay. And I say downplay, saying I'm not saying he shouldn't have gotten punished or whatever this is, rehabilitation that they're doing, but he's not getting paid when he's in those classes. It's not like he's going to get paid. When he's not playing football and not available to a team, he doesn't get paid. So that's a big punishment. And I think the NFL is going to look at that too, where you say, okay, he's done these classes. They're saying they're going to drop the charges. Now, basically, what we're punishing him now for is not for the crimes they say he committed. We're punishing him for the black eye that he gave the NFL. And that's basically what it turns into. That's what they're punishing him for. You're not punishing him for the charges because the charges will be dropped. But you're punishing him for keeping the Atlanta Falcons and the NFL team in the news and embarrassing the organization. And that really from the NFL standpoint, embarrassing an NFL property. That's why I say I don't think it's going to be more than 2 to 3 games. I would be shocked if it's over 4. And again, looking at the schedule, the way it's set up, I can see him coming back after the bye or after the international game. Because that would be like week 11 or 12. And they have 5 games left, 6 games left. That's where I see it. That's where I see it. Mr. Big Management says, where is our offensive line rank going into the season? I was just looking at something the other day, and I don't know whether that was something you had posted where they were saying our offensive line was top 10. I'm trying to remember, was that in the Bird Gang group or not? Where I saw our ranking as a top 10 offensive line. I thought that was, and I could be wrong. But that doesn't shock me if it is. Our offensive line, and we're here as Atlanta fans, every sack we give up, every time Bijan doesn't have a good game, we are hypercritical, as fans are, about offensive line. But the rest of the league from the outside in is actually giving the Atlanta Falcons quite a bit of love as far as the abilities to block, running and passing. And if y'all remember too, Michael Penix wasn't getting crushed when he was. Matter of fact, let me go here, look real quick. Prior to him getting hurt last year, Michael played, he started, technically he started 9 games. And he got sacked 13 times. That's not horrific. That's really not. I'm trying to see, did he have a game log? He does not. 9 games, 13 times, that's not a lot. Quarterbacks are going to get sacked. So, you know. Mr. Big Robinson says, who will take over the right tackle spot? At this time, I would think Jawan Taylor, the guy they signed, free agent from Kansas City. His biggest flaws is he's very handsy, led the league in penalties. So that's somebody that, but again, with McGarry abruptly retiring, that makes a lot of sense because he has a lot of experience. Just got to correct some of those penalties. And I don't know whether Bill Callahan can do it or not. Hopefully he can. Remember, Storm Norton is coming back this year. So I would probably pencil in Jawan Taylor for now, but don't be shocked if he falls into those same habits that they could. Look at Storm, who did a great job filling in for him a little bit in the 2024 season when McGarry went down. Willie Doc said, would you have Bijan and Brian Robinson at 60-40 split on carries? No. You still gotta go with who got you there. I think Bijan has got to be on the field 70% of the time. He's got to. You basically have one of the best offensive players in the league at your disposal. And again, you don't want to overuse him, but you probably have to, even if it's as a decoy, I think you have to have him on the field. Now, you say specific carries is concerned. I'm still saying, yeah, I still got to say for every 10 carries, Bijan got to do it 7 times and give Brian the other 3. Now, if the circumstances have it, whereas blowout game, the passing game is working, then you can work that out. But I think every time you have Bijan on the field, there is a chance of a big play. I think you got to keep him on the field a little bit more. I know the work rate is a worry, definitely. But I got it like that. Matt Town Dirty in the house. What's going on, Matt Town? How you doing, brother? Welcome. Thank you for joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge. We appreciate it. Mr. Big Management says, what is your record prediction for the year? I don't want to insult you guys' intelligence by doing it this early because I think if I throw it out there too much without seeing what team is actually going to be out. It's not a cop out, Mr. Big Management. I swear I'm not copping out. I'm just saying I don't want to throw it out there right now without seeing some of the battles this is going to be won. It's going to be a difference to see who's going to be playing Tua or Michael Penix. That could change my mind. It's going to be a difference to see who's going to be starting in the linebacker core. I definitely need to see some of those things before I venture a guess. So I'm not hiding from the question more than I am, trying to save myself from making a bad prediction, I guess. Willie Doc said, follow-up question. How many plays should the Falcon run? I think I see here. Run to pass plays. Oh, Kevin Stefanski is going to try his best to keep, whether it's Penix or whether it's Tua, he's going to try to keep them to at least 20, 25 passes minimum. I mean, it's not maximum, I'm sorry. As far as that's concerned, I could see us running the ball. I could literally see us playing the I could see him running the ball on a 10-play drive 7 to 8 times. Because he likes to run the ball. Ask Chubb, ask what's my name, who came in, went back to Kansas City, Kareem Hunt. He likes to run the ball. His whole game is predicated on running the ball. He's not a throw it all around the field type of guy. He will if they have to, but that's not his game style. He loves to run the ball. If he could run back to what you were saying earlier about the 60-40, if he could keep the ball in both of those guys' hands and just run it down the field and run the clock down, he would do it in a heartbeat. He was like, "Who cares about the competition? Y'all ain't gonna throw up 15 times." He would do it. He's as much as said it. He wants to run the ball. He wants to run. That's why I say when you brought in Bill Callahan, that lets you know how serious he is about running the ball. Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches, even before he got his head coach job. So he's gonna run, brother. Mr. Big Management said, "What team will we be doing scrimmages against for the preseason?" Usually, it's either Tennessee or Miami, and they usually try to keep it kind of regional, and it'll never be a Division 4 or somebody like that. I'm trying to think, have we ever done it against the NFC team? But the last few teams we've done Tennessee a couple of times and definitely have done Miami. I want to say the last couple of years because we do it against Miami and then play them in their preseason game. But that would be my guess. Now, also keeping in mind the last couple of years, Atlanta had a connection with Miami with Raheem and Mike McDaniel. So it might have been easier to kind of get those. Almost when Arthur Smith was here, we had the relationship with Tennessee. And I know he did scrimmages against Tennessee because he had come from that group. So it might be easier. Who knows? Stefanski might not do scrimmages. All teams don't do scrimmages against each other. So some teams just say preseason is enough. But it wouldn't shock me again if it is Miami. But you don't want to have those with teams out of your area too much because you want to keep those. Yeah, and most of the time you do it with teams that you're going to play in preseason. And who we have, Denver, I don't know whether Denver wants to come in here and do that or not. I think we have Denver. Who we got this? Denver, Miami, and I know we don't play Jacksonville this year. That's the first time we haven't. Who is it? We played the Colts. I can see maybe the Colts. Oh, wait a minute. Is that at the Colts? No. Denver is our only home game. So I can see that. I can see maybe that. Brother Alamite, you have a good one, man. I'm actually getting ready to break up out of here myself. Mr. Big Management says, since we have Stefanski now, maybe we'll do a better job against AFC teams. I hope so, brother. I hope we do a better job against all teams, quite honestly, AFC or NFC. Folks, it has been a pleasure. I appreciate all the interaction as usual, man. Y'all are so great. Willie Doc throws on this right quick. Favorite skit and you know what? That was mine too, with Jermaine Dupri and Matt Ryan. I thought of all, and the skits were funny. They were all funny. That was number one by far when he's like, that's where the players play. And then they did the little film review. I thought JD was spot on acting in that spot. That was funny. I did like the Drake meet Kendrick. That was cute. On that one too. I also like Drake in the reception thing. Another reception. Yeah. Oh yeah. JD's like, it wasn't good. Matt said, how was that? It wasn't good. That was awesome, man. Hey, look, everyone, I appreciate you joining me on this Memorial Day, man. Again, don't forget those who gave their lives for this country, making the ultimate sacrifice. We appreciate them when we think about them and the families they left behind. Just prayers up to all of them. For those of you who this is your first time joining us, thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get these videos, especially on Mondays. We would do the Monday Minutia during the football season. That's folks like Willie Doc and Georgia Texas boy and Atlanta Bird gang will tell you, folks, we are all over it once this season starts. I do a lot of traveling to the games. We do sometimes on the spot interviews there. So can't wait till that stuff kind of kicks up. And again, just appreciate you all joining us, man. Thanks again. Again, hit the like button, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. We appreciate you. Those on Twitter, thank y'all for stopping in. This is your Uncle Steve. This has been Uncle Steve's Lounge. Everyone have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time here in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.